covering spirituality, lifeways, and society, maintaining an attitude of hope and faith. This is the Truth and Life podcast, brought to you by Concise Consulting with Reverend Dr. C.E. McAdoo.
All right. I'm gonna do it like you. I'm gonna put the two fingers on. Yeah. I know you have an initiative. This is Truth and Life, and this initiative is very much a part of both Truth and Life. You want to engage people in such a way that they are proactive instead of reactive.
That's right.
And I know you said you kind of introduced this to some philandery students. And what is this new initiative?
Let me build it up a little bit.
Okay.
Is back in the 90s in Little Rock, Arkansas, during the gang violence.
Banging in Little Rock.
The banging in Little Rock, there were a number of young folks killed.
Mm-hmm.
There was a young lady who was killed that I funeralized. I gave pastoral care to the family, did all that I thought I could do to help them through this tragic situation. And I had lost my driver's license, and I was up at the DMV, and a young lady came up, and she said, "You can right here in the front of the line. What do you want? What do you need?"
Was that recently or
no?
around that time?
This was in the 90s. It was after I funeralized this young lady. I was at Wesley. I was in Little Rock for all of the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from 88 up until 2000. She took care of me, got my driver's license, and she said, "Thank you." I said, "Yes, ma'am. What did I do?" She said, "Well, when my niece got killed, they went to her pastor, and her pastor was afraid to funeralize her." One of my members, who's over a housing complex here in town, knew this family, and they came to me. They weren't members of the church. And I funeralized a young lady, I think 15 years old. I can hear now the cries of those young people as we carried her out of the church.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still in my head. This was one of those situations where, for some reason, I started thinking recently, why is it everything that we're doing in our community is always after the fact?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do something before this happens. I've written up a piece called the Black Before Tears Society, or the Black Pre-Tear Society, or just Pre-Tear Society. And so I talked to each president, student government, Philander, and I told him not this month, we'll do it in April. What I'd like to do is get college students involved to where you would have, and I just going to use pre-tiers, PTS Philander, PTS UAPB, PTS Shorter College, Baptist College.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means these young folks will be part of a society. Think about all of the initiatives. I'll use the Confederacy, the Ku Klux Klan, that folks all over the country, but they were part of something. Mm-hmm. We do not have anything in America that I know of that really focuses in on the prevention of violence on the front end. We got a lot of stuff on the back end. We got all great programs. I'm not knocking any of them. I think all of them are doing a great job. But what if you got a 75-year-old grandmother that's been blessed not to have anybody killed in her family, but she's, I want to be part of that society. Because in the piece that I've written up here, there's just some little things we can do to help bring along this. And I know folks are, well, what's that all about? It's really all about love. As I told the young man up in Philander, is I hadn't flushed it out myself. It could be before tears, or it could be after pre-tears. You could put the black on it, but I would like for it to be a place where you would be part of it. You've got your membership certificate that you're part of this society. You pay an annual due of less than $20 a year, just enough to get you a t-shirt every year.
I know you said black could or could not be in the title of it.
Right.
So is this for black males who died due to violence? Because you kind of prefaced the whole conversation with the Banging in Little Rock era.
Mm-hmm.
So is it only people due to violence? Is it, accidental death? Is it elders? Is it, what is your intent with it?
The intent is a direct focus on black crime.
Okay, so
black, and that could be male or female.
Mm-hmm.
We're not trying to solve all the world's problems. We're not getting into a mama's baby situation. We're not getting into homeboy this or that. We're not getting into educational stuff. We're getting into some kind of way that this society focused in on black crime with one another.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're seeing a void in the game. Organizations like Urban League, NAACP, and others have focused on black issues.
Right.
But you see them more as coming in and remedying some ailment that already exists versus a preventative thing. And so this is an effort to do something in a preventative way.
Right. And I was blessed to talk to a Methodist preacher friend of mine, and I told everybody, he said, yeah, man, that's good. I believe in preventative medicine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think we can add into that. I was just in a workshop today. I'm not changing the subject, but I really am. Can I go there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's your podcast.
Right. Okay. Well,
it's your world.
I was in, and it goes both ways because we're affected by it. It's the organization that does donations of body parts for when people pass on.
Yes.
And they talked about one of the things in our community is that we don't do a lot of that, but we have a high rate of people who have need for, and I'm going to the top, a need for kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
Kidney condition is bad for African Americans.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some preventive things you can do for that. And part of it is, and I was going to do this, is know your numbers. And I'm not, for those of you out there, know your blood pressure number, know your kidney number, and know your diabetes numbers. And those, and your cholesterol numbers. What I do is, I've been blessed to be a veteran, and when I have my primary care examination, we can get our blood work a week in advance. I get my blood work a week in advance, and I go over that blood work, and anything that has an H by it or L by it, I ask my doctor about it. Why is this low or why is this high? That's preventive. So, and part of the problem is my kidneys are not in good shape now because I think I didn't ask the doctor early enough about what was going on with my kidneys. But I just
we have a history of it in our family.
That I certainly do it, and I just thought my creatine, the basic number for most creatine levels is 1.3. I'm blessed to have a daughter-in-law that's a medical doctor. She saw mine would be like 1.8, 1.9. 2, she said that's too high because that creatine. Then I look at my EGR, and remember, I'm throwing this out there so hopefully those looking get to look at it. Then she's, oh man, your EGR is like 30 something or 40 something going down, and the basic number for kidneys for anybody's in the 90s, but when you start going down, it gets lower. I said all that to say this. People believe in preventive medicine. So that means if you can not have high blood, not have high cholesterol, not have high sugar, not have high potassium, and at the event I was at this weekend, that potassium can affect you both ways. Low potassium or high potassium. But if you don't know the numbers. So anyway, that's what I want us, as a matter of fact, I even have some hard data in here. This whole piece about violence in our community. And so this whole concept is to prevent black on black crime. We hear that all the time. We hear people say that, but they don't say how we can stop it. The way we can stop it is build a worldwide society. I'm not getting into karma directly, but if you believe in God, do you not think if God knows there's a society of us that's praying every day that we would stop killing and hurting one another, something might change? Okay.
So what was the catalyst for this? Because the 90s are some minds, I know my students, they're born in the 2000s and something at this point. So what was the true catalyst or the recent catalyst for this? Because though the need has been there a while, this seems to be a recent idea. So what sparked that? What was it, that organ donation event? Was it something else?
Well, it was just, I got tired of going to these places after it was already over and couldn't do nothing. I just felt helpless. I said, what can I do to be more? And you remember, and this is, I know we're talking about now what ICE is doing. I was blessed to pastor in Southwest Little Rock for 5 years. And one of the things that people maybe did not know, there was a direct crime, and we were talking about black on black crime, but it relates also that there were Hispanics who knew other Hispanics were not legal, and they preyed upon them. And we had a number of murders, I don't know what, and after the murders, we had the community events, and we'd go to the house, and we'd be there, be praying, and Reverend McAdoo said, well, would you come over to so-and-so address at 6 o'clock? We're going to have a prayer vigil. I mean, I love prayer vigils. No, I shouldn't say I love prayer vigils. I'm just ambivalent on them. It's not that I'm not going anymore, but I just felt so helpless. That here I felt I was a person of strength. But in those situations, I just felt, I just get right down to it. Just felt castrated. Just took the manhood out of you. And I know I'm a man. But, okay. So I hope that helps you.
I would like to put out there the fact that crime happens due to proximity. This is not a perpetuation of black on black crime in the commercial sense of the term and the word, because statistics show that white on white crime, Hispanic on Hispanic crime, it's a proximity thing.
Right.
They were preying on the Hispanics that they knew were, not citizens.
Yes, right. They were documented.
Right. Because they knew them. Most crimes are domestic or immediately after domestic, which is neighbors. So I do want to recognize that fact, because that can be seen as a racial indicator, but it just in some respect is what it is, as an identifier, right? And saying that this is specifically about, or let me ask you that, did you mean black on black as some people say that with a connotation, and I know that you didn't mean it with a connotation.
No.
Right.
No. Right.
So that is an entryway into saying, hey, look, the problem is back to biblical. We got to love our neighbor.
Yeah. See, you hear it. Not only love your neighbor, but what that scripture says that love your neighbor as yourself.
Right.
And but that the refrain in this draft that I put together is you can be part of the solution. That was what really spurred me to think about this society piece, is that the you is universal, no matter where you live. Because what I'm saying is, if you're in Thailand, it may be Thailand on Thailand crime.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're in Mexico, So when think about you feeling your part, that was another thing, like I told you, I felt neutered, but now I'm part of the solution. Mm-hmm. And part of that solution is going up to Philander, talking to the head of the Student Government Association, and make me feel good. Mm-hmm. And I think love does that. Love should make you feel good about what you're doing. So you're pushing me, keep pushing me further. Because why am I trying to do this? It's because I want to be part of the solution, but I don't want it to be by myself. The podcasts that we're doing, they're not for information, they're for truthfluence, not influence, truthfluence. And we put them on our family podcast. So my family hears me say this first, and they pass it on. If we could get us aside, here's somebody, and they may see their T-shirt, or they may say, now, what's that certificate you got up there? You done joined something? Yes, I've joined the Black Pre-Tier Society, or the Black Before Society, or the Pre-Tier Society. In other words, it's a pre or before tiers. Those are the two parts that's most important. And somebody said, well, how do you do this? And now you can move. I've got some tiers that we seem to hear in our community is because of murders, homicide, robberies, rapes, aggravated assaults, burglaries, larcenies, thefts, motor vehicle, burglaries. Look, ain't nothing, burglaries, and you say, why would you put that on there? It'll just make you cry. Because we've been burglarized. Mm-hmm. And my son, unfortunately, came home, and the burglar was still in the house. Mm-hmm. I don't have my class ring that they stole, but what I'm saying is a burglar can break your heart. Mm-hmm. And so the thing is, this is that information I've got here. I got this information from the Reference Uniform Crime Report. This 2023, last time they had it. And that's the data that shows about black crime in black areas. The racial and black perspective is that the tiers that we see in our black community, sources, newspaper and others, word of mouth, talking to family and friends, I read over the tiers from many racial groups and are keenly aware that happens in all communities and not just a time and place in our black community. So what I'm saying is, peace to air. He just ain't about black folks. No. When you read and understand the dynamic of this society, it affects all of us. What did my shirt say? Mm-hmm. Nobody jump. We're all in this together. Mm-hmm. And so that's part of this whole thing, that you can be part of the solution. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I guess the great motivator for this was hopelessness.
Right. It was
helplessness.
Right.
A sense of not being able to effectively rid the world of this particular ailment. So what suggestions, what advice do you give to those who find themselves in a place of hopelessness?
Right.
You know, and I would say those who are grieving these losses, I know that seems like hopelessness. You know, as someone who's lost a child, I know that there is a sense of hopelessness even in that. but there's no regret in the sense that I know I did all that I could do as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think this is a matter of saying, I see something out there, but it's more I could have done. What can I do? And how can I get others to contribute in this? So you talked about going to Philander. What is your plan to move this forward, to get other people from a hopeless state to a state of action and engagement?
Well, in talking to the President of Student Government, is that we want to rally young people. And that will be the students from the 4 HBCUs. And he said, and he pushed me, he said, well, what you gonna do at the rally? I said, well, I'll give my little speech about the whole part about the 4, and then we're gonna have suggestions of what you might do that would be something that might make a difference in somebody's life. And so, these are the kinds of things. Don't get me wrong. I'm switching all the way back to 1960. When was it? 1970. I'm going all the way back. 1970. I was a psychiatric technician. I do have some. I'm a paraprofessional. I've got a diploma in psychiatric procedures, and I used to run groups. I mean, I've talked to people. And I said, what we're going to do is we're going to give some suggestions of what one might do that's part of the society. And they are, I'm just running down a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
Speak to your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Not only speak to your neighbor, Leron knows, I try to, if I move a neighborhood, I see who's in front of me, who's on the right of me, who's on the left of me, who's behind me.
Mm-hmm.
I try to know who my neighbors are. But also spend some time during the day in silence. Mm-hmm. I'm always impressed because I know he does something every day. Mm-hmm. Might be right, might be read, might be what. Right. Okay, spend at least 10 minutes a day in the art world. I don't mean looking at TV, these talking heads. Get on YouTube and listen to you some Johnny Taylor. Or some B.B. King. Who else do I have down here? Al Green. I'm old school, the Bible Blue, and I do it. I want to do something tonight. Call a college friend. Try to have a meaningful relationship with someone in your family. We got a lot of, what is it? Dysfunction? What's the word for the family?
Dysfunction. Estranged.
Estranged family. Yeah, I mean, if you got a cousin out there that's wild as a bat, and just call them and say, man, I just love you. And do that about 10 times a week and leave them alone, and they may come around. But anyway, that we'd have something like that. It'd be a cheat sheet that this is what the society does, and that means I'm part of the solution now. So we've been on this long. Well, I don't have nothing else direct unless you got something else you want to talk about.
Well, I just end where you ended because I think a big part of what you see this society doing is something that I say that your generation did way better than my generation, which is there was a sense of community.
Right.
So all of that sense of community has left, and along with the community leaving has been that connection. And so when you had for instance, a friend and I had lunch yesterday and saw friends as we entered. More friends came in after we came in. Other friends saw us. We sat down at a table. Those friends who came in after us sat with us. We talked amongst friends. Other friends saw us eating at the table. We were the last ones in there just talking in fellowship with each other.
Right.
And as we asked for the ticket, the waitress said, oh, your friend paid for it. That sense of community what it does is it elevates your mood. You said you feel happy, you feel joyful, you feel good about the fact that you're not hopeless. Because the other side of the coin is hopeless, and then when you flip it, it's joy. And so when you get to that joy and that sense of belonging and activation, or as I would probably say, mactivation, you know, when you get into that area, it's hard to go kill somebody.
Right. I know.
When somebody just paid for your meal.
Right.
When you know your neighbor. Front, back, side, and side.
Yeah.
This sense of community happens. I think it's harder to be upset, and it's harder to mess with somebody or mistreat somebody that you know.
It dawned on me in even a broader sense. I'm getting ready to send out to, I've got my own company, Concise Consulting and Related Services. I know you have a nonprofit and a profit company. What I would like to do this year is for either a corporate group or a religious group to relate to basketball courts. And you say, what do you mean? How's that going to be part of the solution? Every court is a contact. What is the society? They say, well, what does the society do? Well, what we do, we identify all the basketball courts in our community. And we make sure, in consultation with the police department and everybody, all the powers that be, that every one of those courts have water. But they say, oh man, the Pre-Tier Society, them PTS folks, came up here and they got cold water for us every year. All I'm saying is that those are the kinds of things on a corporate level. But if it don't work on a corporate level, I want to do it just for here in Little Rock. Get with the city of Little Rock first of all, see how many courts they have. But then you got those backyard courts where people play. So anyway, I'm really excited about the bottom line is you can be part of the solution. Oh, I got to go back to one other thing. That there's a sensitivity level here. You lost a child, I lost a grandchild. My sister lost a child through violence.
That's right.
And I'm kind of wondering, should I ask someone like her, what does it feel like for here I am now talking about, because my niece was stabbed to death. And, but I just throw it out there. I don't have the answer, but I'm just saying, you see where I am. I'm trying to be, this is truth and life. This is truth and life. We ain't playing. We got to do something. And I'm feeling good already by giving this podcast. Hallelujah.
We're going to end on that note. Okay. Truth and life. Free tears. You can be part of it because you can be part of the solution.
Okay.
When churches and organizations face real challenges, that's where Concise Consulting comes in. We help you move from uncertainty to clarity. For financial expertise, we help you conceptualize, manage, and maximize your budget. Our lead consultant oversaw multiple churches that contributed to mission work at a rate of 95%, and now your team can gain practical tools to plan stronger. For relational equity training, we help churches and organizations build cultures of understanding differences. For building and facility issues, Concise Consulting brings decades of experience to develop common-sense solutions for complex facility challenges. For shrinking congregations, we help you navigate membership decline, tap into growing faith movements, and incorporate development strategies across multiple denominations. So how can Concise help you? Through on-site or virtual professional learning, coaching, and retreats, all customized to fit your organization. When you need advice, call Concise Consulting, 501-779-0649, conciselr@gmail.com, P.O. Box 55323, Little Rock, Arkansas 72215.